Hi, I'm Pam Quinones, Fashion Director of Vogue Philippines, and this is In Vogue. Our February issue is our culture issue, and on the cover is Lake, a model we actually casted during the Vogue casting call last November. And here she is seen wearing a local designer named Jorella Espina. It's a hablon skirt worn as a dress from Iloilo and a stack of bangles from local brand Golden Monstera. And she is photographed inside a Soligmay Jeep in Baguio. And this is the first time we're seeing a jeepney inside the pages and on the cover of Vogue Philippines. And we thought this was really wonderful because the jeepney is quite emblematic of post-colonial Philippines and post-colonial Baguio. So now moving on to our first section in fashion, called In Vogue, we feature Irene Bawer Bimuyag, Kalinga artist who weaves beautiful tapestries in the tradition of Kalinga textiles and embroideries, with amazing images by Jared Cruz. So now moving on to our main story, Baguio and Beyond. This cover story is actually a two-part story that starts with the main cover story for Vogue, which is the first part. It is the idea of the evolution of Baguio, and the second part is inside Vogue Man, and it is the story of tradition. Part 1 is evolution. This is where the diverse tapestry of Cordilleras culture spanning 6 provinces come together in Baguio, where ancient customs, values, and beliefs coexist with urbanized practices. Here we tell the story of people, places, objects, of city dwellers with a mind for nature, respect for tradition, of travelers soaking in the dynamic energy of this melting pot. Part 2 is that of tradition. This is where we journey into the bucolic lands of the Cordilleras, honoring the age-old beliefs and wisdom of the Igorots as stories that guide us into the present. This story is a series of images of beautiful landscapes, portraits, and objects that weave a story of tradition and reverence for land and nature. And here we introduce, together with Lake Fofai, who is a Kalinga native, a teacher, and also our model in this 26-page cover story. Amongst the looks that really stood out for me, one of them was this beautiful ensemble worn by Fofai, shot against this expansive ikat made by Nardas. It's this mix of ochre and amber, quite abstract but also quite graphic. And she is wearing this raffia top by local designer Lauren Burt, paired with Ursua Ser Angelos' beautifully beaded and structured tulip skirt, and finished off with Jos Mundo's graphic mules. Another look that really stood out for me was this 3-piece ensemble worn by Lake. The graphicness of her hair and the smoldering look with this beautifully rich kind of burgundy by Dennis Lustico that came out of his couture collection recently. And we thought this was quite a highlight because he used this light wooden cubic beads to adorn this beautiful jacket. And we paired it with an archival set by Martin Bautista. Archival from way back. It was a way for us to bring in something from the past and breathe new life into it and show that it can still be worn for now and still be very current. It's in his signature silk draped skirt, and it's a gold lame, paired with this beautiful necklace by Adante Leyesa that took years to make because a designer would collect all these beautiful trinkets from travels. And finally, this beautiful Raho Laurel Ugnayan silk dress, actually from Raho's couture collection. And what's beautiful about this is he enlisted artisans from Negros to kind of create this rope making technique that you can see in this dress that creates this beautiful 3D sensibility to it. And in this spread, you see how the colors just come together. They really come alive when you have all these beautiful pieces and primary colors just blend together. It's a way for us to also communicate the kinetic energy of Baguio as a creative hub. These images are captured by Borgie Angeles, who traveled with us for a few days to bring this story to life. And here you see this duo shot of Fofai and Lake. They are wearing Japanese designer Tao. I think it was also quite important for us to be able to communicate that a lot of our local designers can be on the same page as global designers. Moving on to the beauty section, where we feature Islay Bomogao. She is a young Muay Thai athlete from the Cordilleras who ranked #1 in the International Federation of Muay Thai. And we move on to culture, where we feature pre-Hispanic gold, its history, craftsmanship, and ritual, with images by Neil Ashima. So this is really kind of like a book on Baguio, right? When the team came together to do a story, to do an issue on Baguio and beyond, it took us a few months to put it together. It took us a long time to really dig deeper into talking to so many people, looking at documents, talking to experts, talking to artists, artisans, designers, researchers even, to put together the main ideas to cover. And one of the biggest things that we really pride ourselves in the process of putting together an issue is the level of research, and with that comes also days of ocular. This whole journey to Baguio and beyond started with the first group of Vogue editors going to Baguio for an ocular. And with that is days of checking and just, seeing where it's feasible for us to plant ourselves for a photo shoot, but also whether it's feasible for us to meet the subjects that we want to feature and talk to. So the first group of editors came, did stories, and talked to artists such as Kidlat. It was very important for us to sit down with the subjects and have long conversations with them while another group or another unit is doing an ocular. So what you see here is really the coming together of the different journeys of different editors in Baguio. For the main fashion story, that's really started with the casting call. The casting is representative of how we see Baguio, a place for both the locals and the visitors. And so that's why we have Fofai, our Kalinga local, and Lake, our visitor. It's also quite a journey for us to put together the fashion and decide which designers would come into this expansive story. So why Baguio? We thought it is important to put a spotlight on this UNESCO creative city that connects our past to our present by preserving and innovating crafts and the folk arts. And Baguio, in a sense, is quite common to a lot of us Filipinos. We all have our own memories and experiences during our childhood in Baguio. But with the story, we expanded more on what Baguio could offer as a creative capital. We hope you enjoyed reading through the issue and seeing the beautiful photographs by our talented Filipino photographers. Read these stories and more inside our February issue.